Let me just start the webinar right now. We are very glad to see you all here on the official release of our new version of Eocortex 2.4, and which you can already find on our website. And today, let me just give you some more details about what has been added, what has been improved, and what we have been working for within the last, I would say, half year. Before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Simon, and today I'm gonna give a presentation of our new version to you. And my colleague and our technical specialist, Alexey Demonov, will help me with answering your questions in the chat. Uh, so, in case you have some, please feel free to write them in the chat. I will try to answer them as well, and Alexey will help me too. So let's start. This is a brief agenda. What is new in our new 2.4 version? Uh, to be more precise, today we're going to talk about user rights changes, Android mobile application, archive export has been improved, Heatmap, digital zoom were also um, updated. Suspect search, abandoned object detection has changed the algorithm, and now it works more accurately, and people counting has been improved as well since the last version. Let me start with the user rights. What's new? We have completely changed, not completely, but we have improved our interface. We have added some features, and now the user rights are presented in the tree. So you can create the groups, add the users and operators to that groups, and uh, specify the rights, what these users can do. For example, you can allow one person to watch the archive, another to go to configurator and configure and set up the Eocortex to other node. Also, what is new is that when you move one operator from group to another group, his settings are changed as well to based on the group to which he's transformed now. So this is what is new in Eocortex 2.4 version. And also you can grant the right to change the password from Eocortex client to those who are uh, most for responsible for that in your organization. Is it possible to log in with Active Directory accounts in the web client at Eocortex 2.4? With our new release, Active Directory is now, yeah, as Alexei said, it is now allowed only in Ultra version. So if you want to access via Active Directory, you should install Eocortex Ultra. In standard licenses like ML, LS, and ST, it's not allowed anymore. That is the interface of how user rights now look. If you add any profiles, you can also set them in the groups to grant access to some groups and users to certain profiles. Also, what has been added is the description of the group. For example, if you created a group and next time you want to add a new operator, you can also always confirm whether you what this group was created for and whether this person's used this group or not. Let me give you a demonstration of my screen, how the interface looks now. Give me a second. Can you please confirm if you are able to see the configurator that I'm showing to you right now? Not yet. Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen now. So here you can go to user rights. Uh, by clicking here, You can see the tree with the groups. Simple add the group and users to the groups. While adding the group, simply create a name. Let it be security guards. Give a role as junior administrator or operator. Junior administrator has the rights. You can set the configuring rights to junior administrator. For operators, we just set the civilians rights. Like basic rights, like what can be done, watch the archive, export, PTZ management, configure workplace, and some other um, configurations. Cameras to which they can have access. Grids if you create them by yourself, like preset configurations, or the grids you can also specify here. Some certain modules you can also limit the access to them, and plans if they are installed. For junior administrator, you can also have server configurations and camera configurations rights to modify settings, and deleting and adding cameras can be also specified to certain groups. That's how it looked like. Let's just now confirm. Here we have a new group. You can always specify the rights here as well. Most of them by clicking here. Access to camera rights, basic rights, grid rights, plan rights. Um, if you have preset configurations, they will be also allowed to be managed here. Okay, so server configuration rights, model rights. So all the rights can be configured, and if you move a person to different groups, the rights for him will be changed as well. So simply adding the new users, name, node, logged in as well. As I'm using Ultra now, you can allow this person to access Eocortex through Active Directory. But for standard versions, as has been said before, you cannot do that anymore. Tree structure, does that mean that users in child branch will inherit rights from parent element? Alexei has answered your question. I hope you're satisfied with that. You've asked why Active Directory support detail in the new versions. That is, I would say, the part of our strategy. So the Ultra is created for the bigger enterprises, for huge companies, and Active Directory is something that you are likely to use in big enterprises. So that's why we moved it to Ultra, to make it a unique feature of Eocortex Ultra product. Can child group be added to parent group? I don't really get child group be added to parent group. Like, you can create the group, like copy the group if you're talking about that. So not to start from the scratch. You can just copy the group, and all the rights will be started from that, if that's what you ask. So for example, you have a parent group, you add a new one, and then you just adjust some configurations from the scratch that was before. Yeah, so yeah, I would say group user relation, but that's all the interface matter, I would say, because here if you specify the, for example, these security guard groups, you want to, like, the child group is supposed to have the same rights, but something else is limited. So the parent group is supposed to have more rights. You can just copy it here, create a new name, and limit some more rights as you wish. Let me go back to the presentation. Uh, that's all for now about the user rights. Let me talk more about Android mobile application. We have had received quite a number of complaints about the user friendliness and usability of our previous version of Android mobile applications, but I think from today you can already download a new version from your Play Market with improved interface. Now we have reinvented the design, and now when you launch your application, you can straight away go to the cameras itself and watch them without, as it was before, you first need to select the server, connect to it, and then go to cameras. Now straight away get to your cameras, and the interface now looks more alike with the client version. You can simply drag and drop the camera views in the cells. Uh, Using scale and gestures, now you can zoom in and zoom out, so it is more intuitive now, and it is much easier to use. I have today tried the demo version, and it is much easier to work with. So as you can see on the picture 2, here you have the cells which are empty. You can see, right from the viewing point, you can click on them and select new cameras, and right from here, and this menu in the top left corner, it looks more alike to the client version on your laptop or on your desktop. Mm. Okay, let me go further. And the archive as well, it is now when you receive push notifications, for example, in case of alarm or face detection or fire detection, by clicking on push notifications you receive, you go straight away to the archive to watch the moment. I'm sorry, to watch the moment in the archive. Uh, so now it is much more simpler to use and easier. Mobile application, unfortunately, I cannot make the demonstrations now, but I hope today that it's going to be uploaded to Play Market and you can download it and try it yourself. It has been improved very much, trust me. Video archive export. We have promised you for a long time to increase the speed of exporting the archive, and we have succeeded in that. Now the archive speed is increased. I mean, archive export speed increased 30 times because we have added MP4 format of exporting. You can specify whether you need timestamps or not, because for police investigation they sometimes require timestamps to be mentioned to prove that this particular video fragment was taken on a certain day, certain time. And it is much faster compared to AVI format. Also, the fastest way to export the archive is still MCM format, Eocortex Media, but to play that you need to install the Eocortex player. But MP4 format increased the speed. It's now 30 times faster than it used to be in AVI format. Let me show you how it looks. Now you can access archive exporting from the client, from archive menu as well. Let me go to the client. Here you have archive menu, small icon. Then when you want to export it, You click to export archive. Here you can select the format. As I have said, 4 types of formats. Select the time, whether you want to export sound or not. Also, if the video fragment is more than 640 MB size, it will be divided into several video files, because one file cannot be more than 640 MB. Then you specify the time. For example, let it be 14. Eocortex Media. Just click Start Export. Choose a folder, and you will see that the export status has changed as well. Now you can see the remaining time, how many has been elapsed, and the speed. You can see that exporting is actually quite fast, because we are exporting 1 hour of archiving, and the export status is also what has been added based on the request that we have received before. Let's stop it right now and go back to the presentation. Let me just check the questions in the chat. Uh, okay, how long will be the webinar? Webinar is going to last, I think it's going to be less than 1 hour. I mean the presentation itself, but I may need some time to answer your questions, and that may take a bit more than 1 hour. So that really depends on your question, but the presentation itself will be, I think, around 40 minutes, not more. Benny, you can leave the live stream if you want, and I will be sending the recordings of the webinar later on, I think tomorrow. But if you come later, then then we finish the webinar, you won't be asked questions. So at least not like live questions. I won't be able to answer them live. You can always write to our support group or to sales managers. So that's up to you. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. Heatmap is one of the modules that have been improved, and to be more precise, the reports have been improved on Heatmap. And the working with plans has been improved with Heatmap as well. So now if you set the camera to the plan, you can specify the camera zone, and the Heatmap will be reflected on the plan straight away. So you can receive the report with your, for example, supermarket plan, floor plan, I mean, and the heat map will be built on it. And also the reporting has been changed, because you can now specify whether you want to build the heat map based on the time, what's the percentage to the time, or percentage to the overall movements in the video. I will show it to you later, so it's more clear, because a bit complicated to explain it. Here's the interface, how it looks like when you build the reports. I would better show it real time. Please confirm if you can see the screen now. No, yes. I hope now everyone can see the screen. It's loaded already? No, yes, yes, okay. Dan and Joan, I hope that now it is. Joan, I hope it's loaded already. And okay, it's archived now. Let me go back to the. Oops, sorry. Sorry, I'm here. Um, so this is just the video of the supermarket, and if you configure the heat map, you can select it here and show it real time, and you have several options for the heat map to be shown. First, you can specify the color scheme. It can be violet and yellow, blue and red, but what I prefer most is blue, green, yellow, and red, which gives you more information. And moreover, you can specify the scale. Linear scale will give you equal distribution of the colors, where there is a bit more movements in certain area. You'll get more warmer colors. The logarithmic will highlight the low movement areas, so it will be more specified. The uh, areas where the movements have been, like where a lot of traffic coming through, that they will be all red, but where the traffic is not that active, you'll get more detailed information. So now you can see that the active moving areas are all red, but the ones with low movements, they are more specified. And exponential is vice versa. It gives more information on the areas where the traffic is the most. Now we don't see as much information because it is live. But if you go to reports and build a report, for example, for a month or a week, you will see the difference definitely. And let me show you how it looks on the plan. If you go to plans and choose the supermarket plan, you can show heat map here, and I just set one camera here, specify the video zone, and the heat map is shown as I have preset it. If I have more cameras installed, I can apply it to the whole plan and see the heat map of the whole supermarket. And if you want to build the report, you go to heat map report, select the camera. Now you can specify the time, also the periodicity. For example, if you want to build the report for a month, including only the working days, you don't want to include the weekends, you can specify it all here, selecting only from Monday to Friday. Color scheme, as I have said before, heat map opacity is how it will be seen compared to the video stream. So if it overlaps some important information on the camera stream, you can set it to low. I will use medium. Scale, linear, logarithmic, exponential, and normalizing mode that's what I've explained. Let me first build it. Here how it looks like. As I said, the linear scale, the colors are spread equally. If I change it, you can see it in the legend here. If I switch to logarithmic, the low traffic areas have more detailed information on the colors, but the high traffic areas are all red. If you select a certain zone, you can see the percentage of how many traffic has been here, and that is where this by place and by time normalizing mode is needed. So here, if I choose by place, it means that this area has a traffic of 58% of the traffic compared to the traffic of other areas. But if I select by time, this percentage now means that within the period that we have chosen, which is 1 day, so 32% of the day here was the movements. So that is what differs normalizing mode by time and by place. So you can export it in JPEG file and have the information and share it with someone. It is very useful for business purposes to, for example, to organize the storage, to know where to set the promotional items, and for data-driven decision making. This is very useful. Questions? Let me go to chat. Is the price for Eocortex Ultra much higher than Eocortex ST? I cannot say that it's like much higher because Eocortex Ultra includes all the video analytics modules for free, except for face recognition and license plate recognition. The rest is going with you for free. It also has some other features like video wall and internal chat. So if you're comparing the price and worth, the price is not significant. To be more, get more details, you should better contact your sales manager, or just write at sales@eocortex.com and you'll get the answer. So let me continue with the presentation. Then, no worries. Feel free to ask me questions. Digital zoom is another feature that we have added. We used to have it, but now it is much easier to use. I will skip this slide and just go straight away to demonstration. I hope the screen is loaded already. You all can see it. Can you see the screen that I'm sharing right now? It is still this supermarket stuff. Okay, here in the bottom right corner you have the digital zoom icon. By pressing it, you can, for example, select a certain area and it will automatically zoom in for you. Okay, the quality of the video stream is not that high, but if the camera is better, it is very easy to use. Also, by scrolling in and back, you can also zoom in and zoom out, and depending on where you place your mouse, you will zoom into that particular area. And when you zoom in, the hand icon appears, and you can just simply drag and drop drag the video to have clear picture. In case you are using high megapixel cameras or cameras with good qualities, that can be very useful because you don't need to use these PTZ cameras. You can just use digital zoom, which is much easier to use now. And this feature allows you to zoom into a specific area. For example, if you want to find out about for example, the license plate of the cars that are passing through, simply zoom in and watch what is there. Going back to the presentation, I think it's all clear about the digital zoom. Suspect search. We have redesigned the interface of our module, which is we have recently patented. By suspect search, I mean we have redesigned the cross-camera tracking feature of this module. That's all about the interface. Better show than to talk about it, so I'm going. Give me a second to switch the screens. Alright, I need to configure it first. And let me check whether this aspect search is on. Yes, it is on, so I apply the settings. Let me show what changed. Need to reload the client because new configurations has been applied. So here, assuming we need to find a specific person over 4 cameras, we know that he appeared in this area. Let me give some time for the archive to be recorded. It won't take a long time. I have added these cameras to the plan, to one plan, this one. You can see the areas which are in gray. These mean the camera areas that can be specified on your own in the configurator. In case I have, for example, I installed the camera system in a 3-floor building and I have 3 plans, the cross-camera tracking will work there as well. So when the person moves from the 1st floor to the 2nd floor, his image on the plan will be moved as well, and the plans will change as well. So let's try it like that. Let's go to archive. And find the person we want to track. That'd be this guy. So this icon is now going to be see. As you can see, I'm now using the client, not the archive, but the client itself. Only once I choose the archiving, and this icon of cross-camera tracking, this orange man, appears here. You can select the person you want to track. Previously, it used to be track forward and track backward, which was not very user-friendly, not really intuitive. Now there's only one button, which is track. Here, just select the cameras where you want to track through. You can see these cameras on the plan. I'm moving. The camera which I select is highlighted in yellow. So there are basically 3 steps. When you're done with the first step, go to the next step, and here you need to select the person which looks similar to the person you want to track. If, for example, the image is too small, you're not sure whether it's that person, you can zoom in the object and make decision. Yes, that's the person we are interested in. Select all the pictures with the same person over multiple cameras. Here you can also move on the timeline to get more pictures. Simply dragging and moving became much more intuitive. Continue selecting this person. You can also see that it became more accurate. So we mostly have the right person which we are looking for, and it became much easier to select him. Yeah, as you can see, only 2 pictures of different men, or I would say 3 pictures from men. The rest are our suspect that we're looking for, and just viewing the results will give you the video fragment across multiple cameras, and you can also see his trajectory on the plan. So now he's moving from one camera to another camera, then going back to this camera, and that's his trajectory. As I said, if it was 3-floor building, you'll have 3 plans here, and the moment the person goes from the 1st floor to the 2nd to the 3rd, the plan will change automatically. Exporting the video clip uh, can be done in MCM if you want the floor plan to be saved, or MGPEG, MPEG-4 plus MP3, so it's AVI format, can be also exported. And MP4 I think should be available as well. That's how the interface of suspect search has changed. Previously we had issues with the clients where like they forgot to select the cameras they want to search through. They thought that it's done automatically, and sometimes they skip this step. But now it is like a separate step with a big space dedicated to the camera selection, and object selection is now much easier because don't need to go like as it used to be before, watching next 2 minutes or previous 2 minutes. Now just simply drag the timeline and select the pictures. So user friendliness of our interface is what we have on as well. Uh, yeah, and abandoned object detection, talking about this module, this is not only the interface, I would say not the interface at all what has been changed, the algorithm and the logic of how the module identifies the abandoned object has been reinvented and created from the scratch, I would say. So you can call it the new module with increased accuracy. Um, as you can see, the updated technology is used. This technology is more accurate and it reduces the amount of false alerts. But despite of this module to have absolutely new algorithm, the settings and configurations are left. So the configurations are the same, and if the person has been using our previous version of abandoned object detection, uh, he will not even understand the difference apart from this module working much better and more accurately. This objects works better in different lighting conditions. That's how interface looks like. When the object is left for more than preset time period, for example, for more than 1 minute, if this object is left unattended, it is highlighted by the red frame, and the record is made to the journal. Also, you get the bookmark, and next time you want to see in what case this object was left, you can quickly find it in the archive. People counting. Here are two new features. People counting first is first our module is people counting, as you have known. We have created a new module which is called 3D people counting, which is also allowed for free in Ultra licenses, apart from the one thing that you need to purchase our 3D camera, which uses infrared scanners, infrared sensors, for more accurate work. The accuracy has now increased till 98.6%. This is the official results that we have received doing the field tests. The principles has changed, and now the light conditions cannot affect the accuracy of the module. It can work even in the darkness when the lights turn off. It automatically adjusts the scene because it can learn. For example, if you install it and set automatic setup, you need just to give it 1 to 3 minutes to remember the area where the camera is looking at, and will understand where people can possibly pass through, and where the objects like maybe plants or some other objects which are not human, not to count them in the future and not to cause default alerts. And the report scheme has also changed. Now we can build the people counting reports by day or by hours, and exporting the graphs, the charts, for much easier work for increasing the efficiency of your clients' businesses. Unfortunately, I don't have the demonstration video of, I cannot demonstrate you live video from 3D people counting, but what I can do is show you the video, uh, which was recorded using our 3D people counting module, and it shows in a good way uh, why this module is better. I forgot to say that this module doesn't count chairs, baby carriages, the boxes, and it is working really good while counting many people at one time, going in different directions. And you can see it now, hopefully. And please confirm if you can see the video beginning. Okay, so just uh, you can watch how this module works here. In the top right corner, you can see how many people entered and exited, and you can compare it and count by yourself. The number is very accurate. As you can see, boxes are not counted, chairs are not counted, fast running people are counted, and even when there is a bunch of people coming in different directions, it is working very accurate and very good. Okay, going back to presentation. Before the questions, I should say that another module that has been improved, that is which is people counting in the queue. I'll just give you a brief demonstration of this module. Of this module has improved because now it doesn't consider fast-moving objects. For example, if the person is not queuing, it just running through. For example, he doesn't want to buy anything. He's running through. Okay, need to configure this camera first. This person will not be counted. This module is useful if you take care that if you don't want your clients to stay for a very long time in the queue. You can configure this module the way that in case, for example, there are more than 5 people queuing or more than 4 people queuing, you will get notification. You can set up to 6 zones and just specifying the average person size. That's all the configurations you need to do. The sensitivity as well. For example, if you understand that, for example, you have black floor and majority of your customers are wearing black shirts, if you want to this model to work good with low contrast people, you can specify the sensitivity, but we suggested to put on average. Save and exit and apply the settings. Will help you to count the people in the queue, and not just to count, to be informed when there is a long queue. For example, if you want, in case that happens, you can open a new cashier. This module needs some time to train itself, so we suggested first to start it when there are no people. Unfortunately, this video has already some people inside. That may cause some errors, but I'm not sure about that. We should see. But in ideal conditions, uh, the area, the zone, detection zone, should be free of people during its training. No, it works. It's working pretty fine. So one person, you can see zone one and one person. Didn't mention this lady because she's not queuing. Uh, so in case there are more than 4 people, I think we set it for 4 people, you will get notification, and we set in the journal. And you can also set the alarm and, or for example, push notifications, whatever you want to set. This module has also been improved. You can also build the report based on that. For example, based on zone 1, build the report, how many people, 3, 2 to 1 people, what time. This period is very small, so the graphic looks not very beautiful. But in case you put it for 1 hour or 1 day, you will get more clear chart, and it will give you the information of what time, for example, you need to open more cashiers, and what time of the day, or what day of the week you have more traffic and more people waiting in the queue. That's also a new feature of our module of Eocortex 2.4. And with the most basic features, that's all. We do have some technical in-depth features, like new features, but these are more on technical side, so your clients may not realize that. But talking about the most significant stuff, these are what is new in Eocortex 2.4. You can already download the new distributives from our website, and as always, the updates are free of charge. You simply, if you have Eocortex 2.3, simply need to download Eocortex 2.4. It will be updated automatically. You don't need to pay anything extra. I think that is the end of my presentation. In case you have some questions, please feel free to ask me. In case you need some more demonstrations, I'm also here to help you and to do everything that I can. Janice, is people counting done only with vertical camera orientation? Yes, that is the requirement of the people counting camera, both usual people counting and 3D people counting, to be installed vertically in 90 degrees. We have some specifications and recommendations on camera installations. For example, for 3D people counting, the camera should be installed at least on the height of 2.5 meters from the floor, but we recommend it to be installed on 2.7 meters because the depth scanner analyzes not only the video fragment but also how tall is the object, how big is it. So that helps to eliminate the boxes, the animals, or the carriages from being spotted. Also, you can set it the way that it will not count children, for example, if you don't want them to be considered in your traffic. You can also set it that way. Hope that answered your question, and Alexei answered it as well. Any other questions that you are particularly interested in maybe some specific modules or Eocortex in general? There have been quite a number of stuff we have been talking about today. In case something was not clear, I apologize, and I'm ready to answer that more clearly. I will send the records by the email, and I will be sending the presentations to all of you tomorrow. And I also want to ask you to check your spam box, because sometimes it goes there, our emails. And in case you don't receive the email latest by today evening, please contact me. My personal email is stalbob@eocortex eocortex.com. In case that happens, I will send it to you personally, because sometimes it might be the problem of the email services that we're using. Yeah, if latest by tomorrow evening you don't receive anything, please feel free to contact me. And also, if you want to find out more, Janice, you have been asking about the people counting. If you want to find out more about 3D people counting solution that we're offering, you can attend the webinar, which is going to be on Thursday. This webinar will be dedicated solely to 3D people counting. And there you can find out more about it. There I'll be talking about the specification, how to set it up, why is it better, and some other interesting stuff about 3D people counting. Here is the link to join 3D people counting webinar. Will be same time in 2 days on Thursday. Thank you everyone. Thank you Antonio. Thank you Vitali. I appreciate your participation. I appreciate your presence, and we are glad that you have such interest in our product. Thank you, Danny. Any other questions from you guys? Ima, thank you as well. Any questions or maybe any suggestions on the webinars? Not for now. Okay, all right, I understand. You are maybe tired after this webinar. Just in case something you remember to ask, you can always try to support at eocortex.com if the question is technical, or you can write to sales@eocortex.com, and we will be glad to answer all your questions. Have a nice day, Alexei. Thank you for helping. Thank you, Janice. Deb, what's the time frame? Danny, I didn't get the question. What do you mean by time frame? You mean when it will be released? Release date? I cannot say 100%. We plan to launch it today on Play Market, but that may face some, these bureaucratic issues where we need to confirm everything, sign all the papers. These may cause the release to be postponed a bit, but when we will release the app on the Play Market, I'll be sending the emails to you. So don't worry, you will not miss that. Thank you, Danny. Probably end of the week, but maybe today, hopefully today already. But for now, it's only Android app. iOS application is likely to be launched closer to 2.5 version, Eocortex 2.5. Okay, thank you everyone for the webinar. Thank you for your participation, and hope to see you all in our further webinars. And feel free to update your existing Eocortex VMSs, and you can also send this information to your clients so that they can update it as well. Thank you everyone. I think that is all for now, if no more questions are coming. Have a good day everyone, and see you all on Thursday webinar. Bye bye.